Hello guys, and today we have another versus, as it's the second day of the versus week. And today we're doing a versus in between the X-Shot Horrorfire Doomsday and the Nerf Elite 2.0 Eaglepoint. Both of these are 8-shot revolver or cylinder fed blasters, and they're both spring powered and cost about the same, coming in at 20 and 25 euro. We'll first go quickly over the blasters, then I'll shoot them, and then I'll give you the cons and pros of each blaster, and I'll give you the personal and objective pick of the blasters. So let's start with the Eaglepoint. The Eaglepoint at the front has an N-strike barrel attachment lug or N-strike attachment point. Yes. And you have the barrel on it, which is orange and has a tactical rail on the bottom, but it does look pretty cool even though it's just orange. At the top we have a scope, which is attached on a rail, and there is also a rail below it. The scope is a cool ACOG style scope, and it does have plastic lenses. It's a pretty nice scope, although you cannot open it, thus meaning you cannot paint it. Down to the blaster. At the front it has a 8-round cylinder that rotates counterclockwise, which is standard for all blasters, and it rotates on fire, meaning when you prime it and fire it, it rotates, which is not really better, but it is different. Down below you have a foregrip, which you can hold your hand on, although when you put on the barrel, it's designed to be put here, but that doesn't really feel comfy. So usually, even if you have the barrel, you can just hold it right here. It's pretty comfy and I like it. Down to the trigger and the grip. The trigger is pretty nice and smooth, and when you fire, it is pretty snappy, even though it has a leaf spring or a plastic spring. The grip is really comfy, even though it is a thumb hole stock, but it is a pretty comfy thumb hole stock blaster or grip, and the grip is pretty nice and textured. As you can see right here, these diamond size things, although you can't really see them on camera. But they are pretty nice, although they might dig into your hand if you have baby skin or soft hands. And on each side you have a priming handle. I removed the one on the right side. You can put them in or take them out anytime you want. And to prime, you just prime. It usually has a return spring. Mine broke, which is one of the cons, but it shouldn't really happen to other people. And it didn't happen to any other people, but it does lock in the forward position, so it's pretty good, even though it will fire even if it's in the back position. And it will just slam like that. In some cases, of course. And behind the grip we have the stock, which is not the perfect length, but almost, and it is a pretty comfy and wide stock that really adjusts to your shoulder, meaning this middle part is a bit longer and it just gives you a really nice feel on the blaster. It does not have a cheek rest, meaning it is a bit less comfy to shoulder, but it is not bad. You can put your head over here and it will not feel too bad. We also have 4 dart storages on this side, and on the other side, while they do indent your darts, they're not all that bad, and they hold darts pretty well, and you can take them out pretty well. Overall, the dart storage is done very well. The blaster, you can actually take apart. It has many screws, although you will still need to pull out some clips, but they are the good kind. And the plastic quality is pretty nice, even though it does creak a bit, but it is still very sturdy. And do keep in mind, it doesn't actually creak that much, it's just because it's close to the mic. But overall, the plastic quality is nice and better than other Elite 2.0 blasters. Now let's get onto the X-Shot Horrorfire Doomsday. At the front we do not have any kind of N-strike barrel lug, but we do have 2 dart storages. This barrel and this barrel right here hold darts in them. As you can see. And you can just take out the darts out and load them into the cylinder. The cylinder is an 8-round cylinder that rotates freely, and it rotates counterclockwise, which is standard for right-handed users, and it rotates on prime. Also, you have this chainsaw, which is made out of foam. The only thing not made out of foam is this red disc around it. But you can definitely tap some with it, and it is far away from the barrel that you will not really hurt them. And this plastic is pretty lightweight, so even if you slam someone, it shouldn't really hurt. And when you prime the blaster, it spins. And after you prime the blaster, you can still prime it again to spin up the saw, which is really nice. Now down to the priming grip. The priming grip is very comfy and big, although it does not have any kind of backstop or forestop. Thus meaning your hand might slip, but it is a big enough priming handle that it still feels good. The prime itself is actually pretty smooth, but sometimes you can feel kind of crunchy or snappy because you're actually rotating this. That's meaning it's a bit harder to prime sometimes, but it is still a smooth prime nevertheless. At the top we have a Picatinny rail, which you can put the attachment on, which you can use to attach on other Picatinny blasters, meaning you can attach this onto the Insanity blasters, any of them actually. You can attach it onto the Insanity Ragefire, the Berserko, the Reaper X, the Block Blaster, almost any of them. And it does hold it pretty nice. At the top here we have this design, which also doubles as an iron sight, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. Down to the trigger and the grip. The trigger is nice, it is a metal spring, but it does have a bit more friction. And this design with the two kind of fangs, it's not the most comfy. It definitely is not the best comfy, but honestly the trigger is still pretty snappy. The grip, on the other hand, is very comfy. Even though the blaster actually does wobble a bit, the grip feels very comfy, and these wraps don't really make your grip less comfy. Although when you do shoulder it, your hand will go up down a bit instead of like this. But you can definitely use this as a hip fire blaster, which is very nice. And down to the stock. The stock is short. It's only like 2-3 inches long. And as you can see, it's not the best length, but honestly it's about the length of the Moto Blitz stock. Meaning you can actually shoulder it pretty well. It is a bit weird because it is an angled grip, but it is still comfy nevertheless. And you have to keep in mind I'm like 6'3", 6'2", so yeah, if it's good for me, for most people it will be okay, or better than me. But overall the stock is not the best, but it is decent. And let's talk plastic quality. Plastic quality is very nice, although it is a cheap blaster. Okay, let me just say that a little bit better. The plastic is thin, but it doesn't creak around all that much, as per you can hear. It does not creak basically at all, but it is a bit thinner plastic, which honestly I like more. And yeah, there are quite a bit more screw holes on this blaster, meaning it does not have any clips, glue or solvent and welds. It is just pure screws, which is really good. And the design of this blaster is very intriguing, with this crocodile skeleton head and the spinning blade, the scratches, the wrapped grip. It's very, very nice. So that was covering off both of these blasters. Now we're going to shoot them both at my pillow, and yeah, well, let's go. Okay, so I'll firstly fire the Eaglepoint 8 X-Shot Horrorfire darts at that pillow over there, and just normal no slamfire. Both of these blasters do have slamfire, and then I'll shoot the Horrorfire Doomsday, same darts, also no slamfire. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, the performance is decent on the Eaglepoint, and it's actually pretty good on the Horrorfire Doomsday. Okay, it might not be that noticeable, but the Horrorfire Doomsday does fire around 90 FPS, while the Eaglepoint fires about 75, 70. So it is a marginal difference. Now let's get to the cons and pros of both blasters. We'll first start out with the Eaglepoint. The Eaglepoint, firstly the pros are bolt action, sniper feel, and overall the ergonomics. The bolt action is a pro and a con, so people, depending on what you like, but it does give to the sniper feel. Also the way it looks, and it gives you the ergonomics of a sniper, and honestly the customizability is pretty good because you can put on bell attachments, scopes, tripods, or whatever you want. Thus it is a bit more customizable. And the standard ergonomics of a vertical grip and a stock do make you feel a bit more comfy, and although it does have a tongue stock, it is overall more traditional. The cons are definitely the fact that this blaster has catch issues, meaning that sometimes the catch will slip completely and you will have to open it and fix it, and most of the times it will not catch. The best way to actually see this is to actually do slam fire. Sometimes when you do slam fire, it will just not catch. And you might have seen before when I was saying that the bolt action is the pro, it did not catch, I had to prime twice. And in the firing test, I had to prime another time, and it fired the dart when I went to prime, and it fired automatically. Then I had to prime again to index the dart, and then again to, yeah, it genuinely does not work the best. And of course the return spring broke, which is not the biggest problem, and you can just replace that, but it's still not a pro. It's a pretty big con, and I would give those as the biggest cons. Also the cons are it's not pump action, it doesn't have the intrigue feel, it does not have the looks that the Horrorfire Doomsday does, and it does not have the soul blade, but we'll go over the Horrorfire Doomsday now. Now while the Eaglepoint looks more space-like, this one looks like more of a zombie blaster or a Halloween blaster, which this is supposed to be. Now of course the pros are, it has this foam spinning blade, it is pump action, and it is more like a rifle, which doesn't make sense, that is a sniper. But it does have a horizontal grip, meaning it is a bit more like a rifle, or a shotgun in this case. The pump action of course gets you better rate of fire, even though both have slam fire, and it just gives unique feel. It has the foam blade, the plastic is genuinely better, it's better to open, and it does not have any problems. Now yes, I got this blaster only about 2 months from now, but it's still a pretty good time, and the Eaglepoint already had problems with the catch 2 months in. So I gotta say this is a pretty good blaster. The obvious cons are the weird ergonomics. To some people the foam spinning blade, honestly to me it is kind of a con, but you can also remove it with like I think one screw, so do with that knowledge what you want. I might try to mod it. But overall the blaster is pretty good. The biggest cons being the weird ergonomics and the foam spinning blade. Now let's talk which is better, or which is better for me. So, one thing you must know about me, or two things, is that I love snipers and I love shotguns. And this is a pretty big difference between these two. One is a bolt action sniper that has great ergonomics and I genuinely love. And one is a shotgun that, while not perfect, I still will really love it. So, which one do I like more? Honestly, if they were both working, probably the Eaglepoint. But because the Eaglepoint breaks, I have to give it to the Horrorfire Doomsday. And it's generally just good. It's a great pump action, it just feels unique, it has the foam spinning blade, and it is overall better. It doesn't break, it's just good. And with all of that, you have a Picatinny, meaning you can attach it to other blasters, and because it doesn't break, you can mod it a lot more reliably than the Eaglepoint. Also, it does cost €5 more on average, but for that you get better darts with it. You can attach to other blasters in the Sanity lineup. You have a pump action blaster, you have a foam spinning blade, and overall you get a bunch more. So this is honestly my pick. Now to the objective. The clear winner should be the Horrorfire Doomsday, but Eaglepoint does have some pros to it, mainly the attachments. So it is a bit difficult to choose what has a foam spinning blade, pump action, and unique feel without breaking. One breaks to me and probably some other people, but it does have attachments, more standard ergonomics, which are pretty good, and it is a sniper. So which one is better? Well, I can't really give you that because some people like sniper more, some people like shotguns more. So I think I'd call it a tie, leaning a bit more forward to the Horrorfire Doomsday. This blaster for most people doesn't break and you can fix it, thus meaning it is generally around the same. This blaster of course is pump action, has a foam spinning blade, while this is more like a sniper, has a more premium build and has attachments. So even though this is a bit better objectively, because to most people it doesn't break, I will give this as a tie. And it fits it because this is bolt action, this is pump action, they are two different things. So yeah, it's a tie, but I like the Horrorfire Doomsday more because it doesn't break in my case. I hope you liked this video. It was a bit longer than I expected and yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, my name is Nixie and bye bye.